Hello and welcome to Ultrasonic Film, Penelope Ann Miller. It's great to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You worked with Robert De Niro in Awakenings. You worked with Al Pacino in Carlito's Way. I was kind of wondering from your point of view, as you're working with them, what's the differences in their acting style for these two Hollywood legends?
Wow. Well, I would say there's a lot of similarities, but in that they're both very, very passionate about their work and they really delve in wholeheartedly and commit. So it's great to be around that. It's very inspiring. As far as differences, I would say De Niro is a bit shyer than Al. He's just more soft-spoken and more introverted. Al's just a even though you'd think Al was kind of shy, he really kind of isn't. He's just more outspoken and a little more sociable.
You heard of Carlito, right? Carlito! I heard of you, man.
I'm retired.
Retired.
I'm out. I quit.
You haven't changed! You haven't changed a bit!
I'm in trouble. I have to do this. I'm asking for your help.
Whatever he wants you to do, don't do it.
Never give up your friends, no matter what.
You think you're big time? You're gonna fucking die! Big time!
If I go along, it ain't for the money. I gotta do just this one thing, and then I'm out. If I ever see you here again, you die.
Here comes the pain!
And De Niro just seems like, and I don't mean this in a mean way at all. I just think he's a little bit more socially awkward. But it also, when I was doing Awakenings, I also thought that had a lot to do with the role he was playing. I think he was doing that, there was some method acting going on. So I think that had a lot to do with that awkwardness, in relating to him because of the roles we were playing, if that makes sense.
You work here.
No, I live here.
You don't look like a patient.
I don't?
As I'm chatting with you, I'm remembering one of my earliest experiences checking out movies in the theater, and that is Adventures in Babysitting.
Yeah,
That was a fun blast to see, and working with Chris Columbus on his first film too.
yeah, it was a first, it was my first big feature. It wasn't even necessarily considered big. It made a lot of money and it was another another hit, and so very fun to be a part of. And I'd auditioned for the Elizabeth Shue character and they'd already had Elizabeth Shue in mind. So then I went back and auditioned for Brenda and put glasses on and made myself look nerdy. And I thought, oh, this is good. I get to play a character role. So that's where, it all comes into play, the comedy, the character. So we've come full circle.
Awesome. Ivan Reitman had already worked with Arnold Schwarzenegger on Twins. So when you came in on Kindergarten Cop, they must have already had a back and forth, the chemistry together. Was that difficult or easy for you to kind of access when you came into that movie?
I thought it was helpful because, they really had a camaraderie, they had a dialogue that they were comfortable with. They really had bonded. So, I mean, they're both very affable people, and I think for me, just coming into that environment, they're sort of laughing and joking with each other, and it was really easy, just easy, fun movies that I was so happy and now proud to be a part of because it's become such a sort of cult classic. People love that movie. People love Kindergarten Cop. So it was great to be a part of something like that.
One of my favorite early performances of yours is The Freshman. You were such a
Oh,
free spirit in that film. I was wondering if you contributed to the character or improvised anything into that film because you really stood out in that film, stealing scenes away from Matthew Broderick and Marlon Brando.
wow. Well, that's a huge compliment. Thank you. I mean, certainly getting the opportunity to work with Marlon Brando, I never thought in my lifetime I would have that opportunity. Um, just because he was sort of semi-retired at that point, and no one was even sure he was going to show up to set and work. And I think he had a ball because he was doing a parody of himself. And he's actually a funny guy. I think he's just been, you're so used to seeing him play these really dramatic roles, but he's kind of a real prankster. And Matthew's great and funny as well. And I'd worked with him already 2 times prior to that, doing the play Biloxi and the movie Biloxi. So he and I had already had a nice rapport and a chemistry. But as far as Tina, I mean, she was a very different character than people were used to seeing me play. I was an ingenue and she was an ingenue, but she had a big character, and also just having people believe that I could be this Italian mafia princess and Marlon Brando's daughter was maybe a stretch. And at the time I was doing Our Town on Broadway, and I was playing Emily, who couldn't be waspier. So this girl from New England and everything. So the fact that they actually, I guess you could say, took a chance on me or believed that I could pull off this role was really fun. And I love doing comedy. I just thought she was such a balls out, like ballsy character. And I loved her personality. And, that was a lot in the writing, I have to say. But, of course, when I'm bringing her to life, I guess I have to take some credit for how I portrayed her. And I'm glad it paid off, I guess, and people bought into it. And really, that's another movie that The Freshman, it's sort of one of those movies you can watch over and over again and it doesn't feel dated. It's another sort of cult classic. And again, a movie that I'm really proud to have been a part of and to work with, and Bruno Kirby was in it, and Maximilian Schell. I mean, we had an amazing cast. Not to mention Marlon Brando, of course, and Matthew Broderick.
It was you, Fredo. A moment of epiphany. Michael Corleone kisses his brother full on the lips. An astonishing image, at once suggestive of love, inversion, power. And in this world of duplicity and corruption, is there anything finally more important than loyalty?
No.
To friends, to family? And who deserves our loyalty? Yeah?
Sir, I just need Clark Kellogg for a second.
Oh, you just need Clark Kellogg for a second? And why, may I ask, is it so urgent that you see Mr. Kellogg?
I'm Carmine Sabatini's daughter, Tina.
Jimmy, the toucan?
Nobody really calls him that. Clark? Just 1 second, I swear.
Up, Mr. Kellogg, up.
I'll be back as soon as I can.
No hurry, Mr. Kellogg. I'm really quite impressed.
Yes, he's quite a remarkable person.
Yes, I'm sure he is. Is there any chance I can meet him?
I'd say that's a long shot.
My father thinks that Clark is an A student.
Yes, he's a very fine young man.
An A student, that's what my father said.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
A plus.
Okay.
Have a wonderful time. Give my best to your dad. Jimmy, the toucan.
So I was kind of making my Godfather moves. I was going to the different Godfathers. I started with the first one, went to the second one, then Al Pacino. So it all worked out.
It's been an incredible career for you. And speaking of great personalities, in After All, your character has an incredible personality in that film as well. I'm curious about the makeup and how long it took to transform you, because you, of course, I can recognize it's you, but just barely. You've got all these mannerisms and this wonderful makeup on. What was the procedure there for you?
Well, the wig for sure helped. That crazy gray wavy wig. And then of course I had different hairstyles because I have my past, and then I have when it's a little bit shorter, and then it's kind of all out and down. And So the wig for sure helped, and the makeup, and my wardrobe. Oh my gosh. I mean, first of all, as you can see, there was literally, this was not a glamorous role, and I just had to take all my, vanity out the window and just say, I'm not going to look great in this movie. That's just the way it is. And that's okay because I'm an actress and that's what I want to do. I want to play a different role, and one that people don't necessarily expect me to play at all. So getting into the role, all that helps for, the wardrobe and like, those house dresses and the slippers and some of the outfits, like I'm just like, this is like, and I remember like my aunt or my, grandmother, I mean, wearing those clothes. So, or curlers in the hair and walking around with the curlers in the hair. I just think it was hysterical and it really helped me get into the character. And then of course, adding the makeup, and then luckily I got to do some flashbacks where I was a bit younger, but yeah, I'm definitely playing an older lady who's going through a lot mentally and emotionally. But it's a beautiful story, it's really about forgiving and family and coming together after estrangement and a tragedy sort of bringing people together, which happens a lot. It's very relatable in that regard, I feel, is how do we forgive? How do we learn to love again? How do we let go of our past? How do we not hold it everything inside and create all these tensions and rifts? And how can we just, and it's happened in my own life, in relationships with family members or friends. So I just think that that's what's so relatable about this movie.
You've done such a good job with Haley, Mom. Couldn't have done that.
Yes, you could. If I can figure out how to be a mama, so can you.
Sometimes things don't work out the way we think they will. But we just have to pick ourselves up and keep going.
You ever miss Grandpa Wall?
Hell no.
I got an opportunity to see your new film, After All. You give a terrific performance in that. After All is definitely a film I would recommend. It's been absolutely wonderful chatting with you. Thank you so much for this interview. I really appreciate it.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the movie. I hope people will come out and see After All. I think it's well worth it. So I'm glad you agree.